Hello guys, this is a video on a tank you guys have not yet seen. This is the tank I have dubbed Tiny Tank. Now, the backstory behind this tank is I was deliberating on what to do with my desk because I never fucking use it. And I was like, oh, a guppy tank would go nice there. So what I did was I bought 20 feeder guppies because I knew a bunch of them would die, which turned out to not be the case. Threw them all in here with some guppy grass and a sponge filter and called it a day. And man, did they did they thrive. I threw this little auto feeder on here after not too long. Yes, there's a lid, don't worry about the guitar. I threw the auto feeder on it, set it to feed them just a little bit while the tank cycled, but I grabbed the sponge filter out of my 75 downstairs, so it was well cycled. And then I was like, sweet. Then I went and got 3 mystery snails. 2 of them are right here. They all had golden shells. I don't know where the third one is, but they're hard to miss. Oh, here he is. There's the third guy. Now, I thought they were really cool. And then I ended up with a million little bladder snails, but whatever. So be it. They cleaned the tank for me. Every few weeks, the snails love to eat the guppy grass, so I replenish it, which is a hell of a lot easier, more natural than buying a bunch of these, which I'm gonna have to do. And yeah, these guppies have multiplied very quickly, and what I'm gonna do is once this latest batch of fry grow a little bigger, I'm gonna start feeding them to my Oscar and give some of them to my friend. This is a 10-gallon tank, so yeah. Now, one thing, I liked how big the mystery snails got. So I recently did some research and was like, okay, how can I make sure I get apple snails? Because they're very different. Seriously, they are. Everyone thinks they're the same, but they're not. I did some research. The differences are the face is rounder, the sole is a little more green. This is an apple snail right here. I only managed to get 1 out of the 3. Their face is rounder. Their sole is green. They have a very dark complexion. This is not an apple snail. I thought it was at first, but it's not. It's one of the 3 I bought yesterday. Have a darker complexion with stripes along the back. Round face, thicker antenna. I'm sure there are another few details I'm missing. But yeah, that's how you make sure you get an apple snail. So this is the only apple snail in this whole tank. I bought 3 yesterday. This was the only apple snail because I didn't know that they had to have a darker complexion on the body. But yeah, that's what I've learned. Made sure I got an apple snail. This guy should be around the size of my fist once he grows up. Pretty cool. Threw some broccoli in there for him to eat. As soon as this guy got out, there was a little piece of it floating right here, and he devoured the entire thing in no time, so I have no doubt that he'll grow huge in no time. My camera's being shitty. Alright. There's a lot of food floating in this tank because I wanted to feed them a little extra because Lord knows there are plenty of fish in here. I also put an extra tube over the sponge filter so that, since it's cut, water can still escape it. That water still escapes, it's still filtering just fine. Just because there isn't water spewing out of the top. See, there's water spewing out of the side because the tube's cut. Sponge filter's still doing work, which I'm sure I don't even need it, but I need it to oxygenate the water. But yeah, it was blowing all of my duckweed against the wall. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you can see there's a bunch of duckweed speckled across the wall. Doing that should help let the duckweed spread. And it'll be a cheap food source for this guy once he gets ginormous. As well as the other guys, because I've seen my mystery snails eat a bunch of duckweed before, which is fine by me. It is a plentiful resource. Should help keep the nitrates low. I have done 0 water changes on this tank in the entire time I've had it, which is around 6 weeks-ish. I've done no water changes. Haven't cleaned the sponge filter at all. The only maintenance I've done is topping it up, putting in a bit of fertilizer, and topping up food. That's it. Low maintenance tank. Yeah, you can see I have about 1 million fry in here. Everyone's doing just fine. We've got plenty of places to hide so they don't get eaten. That's one thing I made sure of. yeah, this is my little guppy tank. Now, one thing I'm trying to get in this tank and have been failing is some of these guys. They're trumpet snails, I think. Yeah, these trumpet snails. I'm trying to get more of them. I don't know if that guy's alive, but that's one thing I hope for with every bunch of guppy grass I get, is that I get some trumpet snails, because they're really cool. I want this to be as biodiverse as possible, because more biodiversity means less work for me. And I want this to be just that, a zero maintenance tank. I have a high maintenance tank already, and it's a 75 downstairs. I gotta clean the filters, make sure everything's just right. And about that, I figured out why my Oscar is stressed. He has very little enrichment, and the only enrichment he gets is bullying other fish. And I did some research, and they like to have stuff to drag around. And I'm also moving stuff in that tank too often, so I'm going to leave that tank be, drop in a few plants he can move to how he likes so he can decorate the tank himself, and he should be all hunky-dory. I also, since I have a 40 gallon tank next to it with this convict that I'm going to be returning to the store because he's just way too aggressive, I'm going to put the angelfish or maybe the goldfish in that tank and let the big tank be an Oscar tank. And then it should be a lot more well suited to those fish, and there shouldn't be as much conflict and all that. But yeah, taking it one step by one step, you know. Well, anyways, this is about this tank. I'm just waiting for the snails to find the broccoli. This guy was trying to find the broccoli, and he ate through. You know, you see this gap in the guppy grass? He ate through it to get to it and didn't quite make it. But yeah, pardon my messy desk. It's basically just a storage device at this point, because my room is small and I gotta deal with what I got. Yeah, man, this tank is pretty. My mom is very envious of it. She's wanted a betta tank for a while, and I'm gonna get her one. It's gonna house a single betta fish. It's gonna be a very small fluval flex. And it's going to have the filtration built in. It's going to be planted. She really likes the look of the guppy grass. I'm going to stick in some anubias and get some nice wood, decorate it all nicely, and I'm going to have the soil. I'm going to do, fluval stratum or whatever, and cap it with sand so that it doesn't dirty up the tank, and it'll all be just fine. And I'm also going to give her one or two of these guys. Because 6 in a 10-gallon tank is just, 5, because one of them's an apple snail. 5 of these guys is just too much. Because, I mean, they get this big, you know? Sorry for the glare. Yeah, so that's the update. That's your introduction to the 10-gallon guppy tank. And something to keep in mind, of course these guys are ugly. I got feeder guppies, they're culls. So, yeah, I'm not bad at keeping them, they're just cheap.